All right, one more example using random objects. I want to make random circles. So this is kind of a fun code for me. So generate thousands of random circles. So we're going to go to, I'm in chapter 5 just because random is in chapter 5. If you are in here, make a new class. I also have my drawing panel in here. I copied it over so that I could, I'm going to need drawing panel in order to draw stuff. So we'll call it, circles on circles. Circles and more circles. Something like that. Lots of circles. How about lots of circles? Lots of circles. Yay. Okay. My headers. Program to exemplify how the random class can generate thousands of circles. I need my utilities and my AWT imports. Utility for the random class, the AWT for the graphics. I think I'll do everything in main. What I'm going to do first is just randomly generate, create a drawing panel, create a, so we want thousands. Great. Let's get one first. So I'm going to create a drawing panel. I'm going to create a graphics object, and then I'm going to randomly generate one circle. So drawing panel. Let's go 400 by 500 by 500. And then graphics object, panel.getGraphics. So what I want is I want a randomly generated X and Y coordinate for the top left corner of my circle and a randomly generated diameter. So for the width and height of my square. So that's the diameter of the circle. So we're going to go integer. I know that I'm going to want to put these in a loop. So I'm going to do integer X, Y, D. In other words, declare them all at once, and then I'll define them below it so that I can, when I generate the random numbers, I can do it within a loop without having to change the declaration. So X is going to equal a random, oh, I need a random object. Yes, we do. Back up here, random R equals new random object. Use the random class to generate a new object, and then X will equal ran r.next int, and we want to go between, so 0, 0 to 500, 500. So I'm going to let it be all the way up to 500, or 501 if I wanted, but we'll go 500, and we want Y to be the same thing. And then I want the diameter, well, I want it to be random as well. So how big the circle is. And, 250, a diameter of 500 would fill the screen. So depending on where you want it, I mean, I guess I could just try 500 and see what happens. This would mean that some circles would just engulf the entire thing would be full. And let's pick a color. So we'll go a G dot, let's set color to, I don't know, color.blue. And then g.fill oval with X, Y, D, and D. Obviously, if I didn't want circles, I could do ovals and change the D1 and D2, something like that, right? Or width and you could change it to width and height. Okay, let's run it. There it is. Yay. Run it again. That circle should move. Get bigger or smaller. It moved. It got bigger. Run it again. We should. Oh, there's one right in the middle. At some point, we should get like a really big circle and a really small circle. Notice that one's off center, so we're not only getting part of the circle. I noticed something else is running behind here when I run this, an old program. I don't know why. It's all right. Okay, so already that's cool, right? So now I wanna have a little more fun. I want to change the color. So let's change the color, and I want to make the color random as well. So I'm going to do that by using the RGB color generator, or RGB colors. So I'm going to have 3 more integer variables, R, G, and B. Oh, I can't use R because I've already used R here. So let's call them red, green. Let's change little r actually. I think I like RGB already. I want RGB like that. Let's rename little r. Yeah, okay, call this red for a second. Let's rename this little r, refactor, rename it as rand, or just random, fine. Okay, and then I can change this red to R. Oh, and I already have a G. Can I undo in here? Yeah. So let's just keep it red, green, and blue. For RGB. And then how that works is, again, we're going to randomly generate a color by randomly generating numbers. So the RGB scale goes from 0 to 255. So we're going to go r.next 256. R.next integer, excuse me. And I always forget how high these scales go, but I Googled it. The maximum on the RGB scale, 255. So we're going to go to 256 because that'll leave that last number out. And we'll do it for all 3 colors, our red, green, and blue. So we're randomly generating 3 numbers between 0 and 255, inclusive. And then we're going to establish a new color here. Let's put the color up here. Again, the declaration up top. Color. Let's call it shade. Or C would work. And at first, let's see. Let's first just sign it 0, 0, 0. It didn't like the not giving it a value in there, so I need to sort of set up a blank color. I'm curious what that color is, so let's just put it in here and see what that looks like when R, G, and B are all 0. Black. That makes sense. Okay. So we're randomly generating an x, a y, and a diameter, and we're randomly generating coordinates for R, G, and B, which are going to be our colors. So now we're going to reassign the color here. C equals color R red, green, and blue. So we're going to put those 3 colors in there. Why not working? Pause for 1 second. Okay, no, I made a little mistake, but that's okay. So what I don't need is this code here. So I'm just gonna declare C here, color C equals new color with the red, green, and blue that we just assigned from there. And then we'll just run it once. So there's my circle with the new color, and run it again. And now I'm just randomly generating one circle. And again, it's kind of sneaking off the board there. Ooh, but it's changing colors. So that's kind of cool. And it's totally changing colors in a random way. Okay, so now the fun part. What I didn't realize, I don't need to declare these variables outside of my loop. I can just do it in my loop. For integer I equals 1, I less than 1,000, we'll draw 1,000 circles. I plus plus. I really just want to take all of this code and put it in this loop. But in addition, I want to take these declarations out of here and just put them in the loop. Integer x, integer y, because I'm not going to use them anywhere else. Integer d. So I might as well just have them declared within the loop each time. Integer green and integer blue. And then I don't need this line of code. Now, I mean, it's sort of 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. If I want to use this x, y, d, red, blue, and green somewhere else, I would, but notice I'm regenerating it every time in the loop. So, I mean, I could declare them out. If I don't like all those declarations inside, I could just leave them up here. They're all integers. And then I don't need the declarations here. I think maybe that is actually better. I had it the first time. So we'll just leave it that way. So the code's not that complicated. We are randomly generating an X, a Y, and a diameter, and then 3 colors, getting a new color, and then we're setting the color, and we're drawing the circles. And maybe I need to slow this down just a little bit. So I'll go panel.sleep. Let's go every 10 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds. I don't know. Run it. Oh, so cool. What's interesting is we're not getting up to the upper left corner here. It's coming, okay. I don't know, it should be random. So I guess because there's one up farther. I don't know why it's not filling up. Oh, because 0, 0 is the start. And so, you know, it makes sense because it would have to have a 0, 0. And down here, it could be anything. In fact, we're moving this, you know, it could be 500, 500. So that's a circle that's not even on the window. So of course, it's heavily weighted down towards the bottom. Whoa. So if I wanted to fix that, I could do what? We could, I don't know, put it so that, because notice there's still something up here with no circles. And that's because these are all filling up with the left corner, and the left corner would have to really be small values to fill up here, whereas all these can be almost anything. So how could you fix that? I don't know. Do something with your numbers. Either only go to 400, 400 or something, and then you'd have more sort of in the middle, or let X and Y generate from like negative 500 to 500, 1,000 or something, and then you would fill up both sides off the page. But I just wanted to show sort of how this random could be used in many ways. I like the color. I like changing the colors. They're just cool. I also like the circles. I think it's fun. So you know, you could limit your RGB, and that would change, you know, what colors you're getting to choose. And Again, you could change your X and Y so that they don't go off the screen, or so they go off the screen in both directions. That's why this part's not getting white, is because we're only going off the screen on the positive side. We're not going off the screen. We're not going smaller than 0, 0. So fun. All right, that's it. You know, we could make the panel bigger. If we made this 1,000 by 1,000, oops, then it's going to take up my whole screen. And now it's more balanced to the left and to the right, because now it's going to have less down here because it's never getting down there. Ah, fun. I don't know, it makes me laugh. Okay, so that's it. I hope that's enjoyable for people. Tighten this up a little bit. All right. Look how, and it's very simple, right? So it's simple code, and yet it kind of is fun.